Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a video that I love to do, and this is kind of like a whole brand review, and I just go through each product that I have from the brand because I have a lot of makeup. So this one was definitely the most highly requested by you guys after I did my best and worst of Tarte. So if you want to check that out, I will link it below. But today we are doing the best and worst of Too Faced. So Too Faced is a very, very popular cruelty-free brand, and they have a really, really cute packaging, and this was definitely the most highly requested on that video. So today we're gonna do that. I will let you know my thoughts, and I will let you guys know what I think that you should buy from them. So let's just get started. Okay, let's start off with eyeshadow. So before you put on eyeshadow, of course you want to use a eyeshadow primer or something like that. I usually use concealer, so something like this isn't totally necessary for me, at least. This is like a little bit pricier than most eyeshadow primers. I think that you can find one. This is a good one and it works well, and I know a lot of people that like it, but could you find something that's cheaper? Yeah, or you could just use concealer, or you know, you could buy something that's like drugstore, like maybe NYX or something like that. This isn't totally, in my opinion, necessary. It does say it's 24-hour anti-crease. Do I think this is totally worth it when I say go out and get it, you need this? No, I would not say that, but usually you can get these if you buy like a Too Faced set, so usually they come in there and you can kind of test it out that way. I wouldn't just go out and buy like a full size of the eyeshadow primer. So now we talked about eyeshadow primer, let's talk about eyeshadow. So this is the Too Faced Natural Eyes eyeshadow palette, and this is the neutral eyeshadow palette. So fun fact about me, this is like one of the first eyeshadow palettes I ever picked up, and honestly, this is a really, really good eyeshadow palette. I definitely recommend this to beginners or people. If you look at this and you're like, I love those colors, I would definitely pick it up. Every shade has really good quality. Honey Pot is just a beautiful gold. It's kind of like a bronzy gold. So I'm saying this is for beginners, but I'm just gonna tell you. So if you are a beginner and you do wanna get this palette, this is kind of how you could use it. So this palette is kind of nicely set up for people that are beginners, where you can go across and like just use those colors. It's kind of set up that way, and it does come with like a little lookbook. So you would use this shadow first. You can either set your eyeshadow primer or use that all over your lid. You would use this one in the crease, and then you would use that one either as a liner or to darken up your look. So this one is meant for day. This one's more of a classic look, and then this one is like a more considered a fashion look. So they're just really interesting, and they're like really safe colors, and you can just go across. Or what I like to do, I would set my eyeshadow primer with this. I would use like Honey Pot all over my lid. I would use this, I could use this one as a crease shade, I could use that as a crease shade, I would deepen it up. So there's a bunch of different things, you don't actually have to follow along totally. Yeah, so anyway, this is a really great just beginner palette. If you don't really love to use eyeshadows that much, or you don't really need that many eyeshadows, I would definitely pick this up. It's got really good quality, it's very easy to blend, and nothing in here is gonna make you look like a clown or crazy or, you know, anything like that. So I definitely recommend this. Moving right along, so I have pretty much all of the palettes that are kind of shaped like chocolate bars. I'm gonna go in order of, let's go in order of least to favorite. So this is probably the one that I like the least out of all of those, and it is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. So this came out, I think, maybe around Valentine's Day a year ago. I can't really remember, but it definitely has like some pinks in there. It's got some browns, and yeah, that's pretty much like how I would describe it. And then there's kind of like a random green color in there, which I don't really understand. But yeah, I don't use this that often. It's kind of hard for me to get inspired to do looks. I don't feel like you can do a total full look with this, and I feel like a lot of the shades are kind of, they look very similar to me, like they're almost too close to each other. So for that reason, I don't totally love this palette, and like if you wanted a pink eyeshadow, you can just use like a blush or something. So I don't really get a whole lot of use out of this, and I don't totally recommend it. I'm not even sure if it's still for sale, but it is cute. I love the packaging, and it's very sturdy. Probably my third favorite is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I actually really do like the smells. There's some mixed reviews on this, but I really do like the smell of this. There are some really standout shades in here. I don't dislike this palette at all. I do think that the quality is sometimes like hit or miss with the different shadows. Like, it's not totally uniform. consistent throughout the palette. The times that I have done my makeup, it did come out really well, so that's good news. But and I do feel like you could do a full look with this palette actually. So I do love the shades like Puree right here. I love Summer Yum. I like the shade over here. It's called Charmed, I'm sure. I do like Bellini, which is kind of like a duochrome shadow in a way. I like that there are a few shades where you can kind of set your eyelid or eyeshadow primer. I love this shade right here called Luscious. Luscious is like a standout shade for me. They did a really good job on the formula of that shade in particular. It is like really good. So overall, I do actually like this palette. There's a few mixed reviews on this one also, but some of the shades, most of the shades are pretty, I feel like pretty good. Like, you know, the purples in here are not so great, but for me, like, I'm just somebody that doesn't really use those, so I'm like, I don't care. Like, you know, I wouldn't use them anyway, but I feel like it's good if you do basic looks like I do, but if you're looking to do shades like the purples or the green, I would probably skip on this palette. If you're planning on using those, they're not that great. My second favorite is this Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is the original chocolate bar palette. And it looks like this. I see more people with green eyes gravitating towards this palette and like maybe hazel eyes or something like that. Because I do have blue eyes, I prefer the semi-sweet chocolate bar palette, but if you have green eyes or brown eyes or what else, hazel eyes, I would definitely reach for this one. And if you see that if you feel like this is more your color palette, I think this is a great palette. Across the board, all the shades are just really consistent and they're good and they're blendable, and they have a great color payoff. I think that they work together really well, which I think is really important with some palettes, that they blend together well and they don't look muddy. This is a beautiful crease shade, let me tell you. Marzipan, gorgeous. This shade right here, Creme Brulee, is like one of the most beautiful bronze shades ever. I think that Too Faced does bronze shades really, really, really well. Like, for some reason, I don't even know what it is, but I love this palette. I think it's an awesome palette, and I definitely think that you should have it in your collection if you don't have it. Now for my number one favorite palette from Too Faced, and this is actually my top 5 palettes that I own, just in general. It's the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. I've been using this for years. When you see this, you're gonna scream because 2 of them fell out. I did bring this palette when I went traveling somewhere and it broke while I was traveling. I don't know, I just thought this would be more sturdy than it was, but that's okay. I'm just gonna buy a new one. This is my favorite palette because I have blue eyes, so I love just like the warm colors. I think that you can do a totally complete look with this palette, and because it has like all of these gradients. So I like to start with mousse, and then I'll use peanut butter in my crease. I'll use a fluffy crease brush for both of those, and then I'll use peanut butter in my crease. They have truffled, which is like a nice, it's just kind of like a chocolate brown color. And then I like to use hot fudge, which is like a step up from that. It's like a really dark brown, and it's got great pigment. And then the black is actually a pretty good black too. So, and then this coconut cream, I like to set my lid or my eyeshadow primer or whatever I'm doing, my concealer on my eye with this. It's like a really nice thin shadow. You're not gonna get a lot of color payoff from it, but it does kind of set everything really nicely and make it really blend easily on top of it. But yeah, anyway, this is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now. So I used to wear this every single day I worked at Sephora. I used to use this all the time. I had one specific look that I did with this palette and I like mastered it. It's actually kind of similar to this one, but a little bit different. But I used to do that every day, and every day somebody would ask me and I would just point out this palette. I used to use this on all my clients because it was just easy, and I could do everything in one palette, which is good when you are, especially if you're selling makeup, it's good to use one palette to do an entire look. Otherwise, because people don't want to have to buy, you know, a single shadow here, another shadow here, another shadow here, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that this is the best palette from them. Yeah, this one has the warm shades, and if you just kind of take out that blue, it's like a really good neutral palette. So yeah. Next, I just have like a few limited edition ones, which I'm still going to talk about because they are still part of Too Faced. The only problem with Too Faced is that sometimes their limited edition stuff is not always the same quality as their stuff that's permanently in their range. So like any of those palettes I just talked about, I mean, except for like maybe the peach palette, is pretty much going to be uniform, really good quality on all the shades in there. Anyway, but this one is the Too Faced Stardust palette. This was a collaboration with Vegas Nay. It was only available in Ulta. This is a good one if you want to do basic looks, or if you want to do, you know, even like a purple look, like a purple kind of smoky eye. Like, it was really a really good palette. It has everything in it that you would pretty much need. It was a kind of like a shade to set your lid or use that as an eyeshadow, just like a basic look. It had Millennial, which was a really good transition shade. You can also use that one in the crease as a transition shade. It has this really pretty bronze. Like, I'm telling you, they do bronzes really well. Anyway, and they also have the matte black. A lot of people ask me, you know, why do I always say that there should be a matte black in every palette? The reason that I say that is because it deepens the looks. Sometimes when you do cool tone looks, it really takes your look to the next level and cleans it up a lot, which, you know, doesn't make sense a lot of the times because black usually doesn't like a clean. It kind of can get messy when you use black, but I'm telling you, when I used to do makeup on people and they would ask me for like a cool tone look, if I had a matte black, it would definitely elevate the look and make it more, it's kind of just about building up the contrast and building up the pigment, and it makes it look a lot better. And if you do like art and stuff, if you just kind of build up the value of your art and your shadows, it just makes it look a lot more, it makes it stand out, it makes it look a lot better. Also, you can use a matte black for a liner, which I like to do a lot, especially if you're somebody who doesn't want to do like a thick black liner, or if you maybe have like hooded lids or something like that. I just like to kind of, you know, quickly just put it across the lash line, and it really makes the lashes stand out, especially if you're somebody who's older. If you have mature eyelids, I would definitely get a matte black eyeshadow and just kind of wiggle it on your lash line, on your upper lash line, and it makes it look really good. It makes your lashes stand out, makes your eyes look bigger. So yeah, that is why I use matte black eyeshadow. Also, I have these limited edition palettes, and these were around Christmas time. I'll just quickly show you what each one looks like. So it was kind of just like a palette that you could just do, you know, one look with, or I don't know. I'm not totally sure if you were supposed to use all of them, but some of them come with bronzer, some of them come with blushes, but for the most part, like, these two weren't the greatest quality. And sometimes you just have to be careful when they come out with like holiday sets or limited edition sets. They're not always like the greatest quality for whatever reason. I think that that's something that they could definitely improve on. But I will say about this one, and I posted this on Snapchat the other day, I actually loved this palette right here. And it's just weird because, I mean, the quality is like okay in here, but I brought this with me places. Like, I brought this when I went downtown. Like, I used it for going out looks. Like, if I ever come out, let's just hypothetically say I come out with a brand collab one day where they say, you know what, you can pick out whatever you want. You can pick out a blush, you can pick out eyeshadows. I can confidently say I will have a blush that looks like this, because I think this is the most like perfect blush color ever. And I will definitely have a color that looks like this Bonjour shade. It is the most beautiful bronze. That Bonjour shade is like, it's not too dark, and it's not too, it's like the perfect shade for your lid. It just looks good. It doesn't look too smoky. I think like a step up from it would be Urban Decay Smog, and that's just too, for me sometimes it's like too dark, but this is like, gives you that perfect bronze, like red carpet bronze look. Also, it's like a beach look. Like, I feel like these two are very just beachy colors. I like that look. I like the bronzed goddess like beach look. I just like, to me that is like the ultimate goal of makeup for whatever reason. So I did like this one though, and I really hope, on the off chance that Too Faced ever sees this video, I really hope that they come back out with that Bonjour and Mademoiselle shade in like something else. I don't know. Okay, so let's move on to the face. So I do have this Too Faced Hangover RX primer. I only have a little one, and I'm glad that I tried it out because the smell of it smells like coconut, and it's kind of just like an unnatural coconut smell though. Like, to me, it gets me really sick. I'm not that weird about smells, but this one I really, like, it makes me really sick. These kind of coconut smells, and like when things are like overly watermelon, oh, like the Rimmel lipsticks, the long-lasting lipsticks, that smell of those, I can't wear them. So this is something I just can't wear, but I see a lot of people like this that have dry skin. So if you have dry skin, I would try it. And if you're not weird about like that overly coconut smell, just make sure you smell it before you buy it, because it would be a real shame if you bought it and it was like you couldn't wear it because it's on your, I mean, that's on your face. You will probably smell that, so you'll be putting it like, you know, around your nose. So anyway, this though I love. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. It's the one that I'm wearing right now. I am in shade light beige, and I feel like this is a foundation that matches me when, no matter what, for whatever reason. It's just kind of like one of those magical shades where you can find, where it kind of matches you, you know, for whatever reason. I don't know why. It just always matches me. So I love this foundation. I cannot say enough good things about it. If you guys get one thing from this video, I would definitely go try this foundation. It's like magic because it doesn't settle into your fine lines. It really does look natural, but it does cover up everything that you need it to cover, and it builds really well. So it really, really does give you that natural finish, but if you do want to build it up and get like more of a full coverage, I have some redness on my cheeks, which is like the main reason why I wear foundation. So this covers my redness. You know, sometimes I'll go in maybe a second time, but usually I don't even have to. It just looks so natural. It clings to your skin. It doesn't fade away throughout the day. It's oil free. It never makes me feel oily. I think this is probably like the safest foundation you can buy. I always recommend this to people, and I don't see this being bad for really any type of skin. I don't know why a lot of people don't use this, but every time I wear it, somebody tells me that I look like filtered, or, you know, they ask me what foundation I'm wearing. So it's a really, really good foundation. I definitely recommend it to people. This is something that when I run out of it, I will run out and buy it the next day or the day of. So as for their concealer though, their Born This Way concealer, I haven't tried it. I saw some mixed reviews, but I definitely, if you have tried it and you want to like leave your thoughts in the comments, I would definitely welcome that. So definitely let us all know what you think of it, because I haven't tried it and I did see some like mixed reviews, so I'm not really sure. Okay, so let's talk about face products. So I have the Too Faced, this is the Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This is for like the lightest of light skin tones. I would only get this if you're really, really, really fair. Because for me, this doesn't do anything. It's just like doesn't even show up really. So it wasn't worth it for me to get this. I don't really know why I have it. I think that if you're usually in like the lightest shade of foundation, yes, get it. But if you're like somebody like me who's usually like in the middle somewhere, I would definitely just get the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. Of course, I just have a little one, sorry. But this one is like, I really like the shade. I think it's a really good bronzer. It's not like my favorite like standout, but I do think that it's like really good, and I definitely do think it's worth the money because it's a really good bronzer. It smells like chocolate. They have a ton of different bronzers in their range. I haven't really ever been interested in anything other than just like the matte bronzers. I would say get the matte bronzer if you want to try any of their bronzers out. I think when you're standing over at all those bronzers, like I don't think I would get anything with like shimmery stuff in it. Like I don't think that you want that in a bronzer. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. I think it's pretty good. Next, I have these Too Faced. These are the Love Flush blushes. I have Baby Love and I have Love Hangover. So these are really good. They're really long lasting. It says that they're supposed to be 16-hour blushes, and I definitely think that they do last a really long time. I think that they're a little bit different than like what you see though because they're a little bit darker in the inside than they are on the outside. But they're really just, I mean, for me, I'm like a makeup collector and I just like weird things like this. So I like to just have them on my desk, just sitting there on display, because Too Faced has really cute packaging. I know sometimes people think that Too Faced is like, you know, too much of little kid packaging, whatever, but I just like that and I don't really care. So I love the hearts. I love like the cuteness of it. So, but they are good blushes. They do last a really long time. I think that I would get Baby Love if I was gonna get one of these again, but yeah, they're both really cute and they do last a long time, but they're not like my favorite blushes I've ever tried either. So yeah. I also have this Too Faced Sweet Peach Glow palette, and I saw some mixed reviews on this, but if you want to know my opinion, I really, really like this palette, and I think that this gives you such a pretty like airbrush beach look, which I of course really like. I think this is like a beautiful summertime palette, especially, and these are still for sale, I believe, so you could definitely still get it. But I think that the bronzer is probably the weakest component of the palette, but I actually see people like that one only. I think it's a really warm, but I think that's good for summer because it gives you kind of like that burnt like summer bronze look, but I love the blush in here. I think it is one of the most perfect shades. It gives you just like a beautiful flush, and it looks just like a summer flush, and the combination of all these together gives you such a beautiful like look, and they all just kind of blend together really well. I think that it was picked, like the colors were picked really well for each other, and they look really good together, which I think is super important when you have a palette that's, you know, made to work together like this. So I think this is really, I see a lot of kind of like these Neapolitan palettes like this where they, you know, there's a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight, and I think this is actually one of the better ones on the market that you can buy. I see a lot at the drugstore, and I'm just like, no. But this one is really good, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say like a gelée kind of texture, but it's really, it melts into the skin. It's not, doesn't highlight any texture on your face. I'm wearing these on my face today. I'm wearing this entire thing, so I don't think you can totally see it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a subtle highlight, but it really does melt into the skin, and it doesn't look like you have a stripe of eyeshadow, or, you know, sometimes it looks like you have literal eyeshadow on your face, but this kind of just melts in your skin. It blends really seamlessly, and it looks like more of like a glow, a natural glow than something that, you know, you put there. So yeah, I love this palette, and I actually use it quite a lot, so it's in my like top drawer, and yeah, I like it, so I would definitely try it out. Really quickly before I move on, I forgot to talk about this. Hello. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara, and this is like one of the best sellers at Sephora or Ulta, or maybe both, I don't know. But this is what the wand looks like. I think that this gives you a really nice velvety kind of lash. This has almost the same exact one as my all-time favorite mascara, which is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir, and both give like that really nice velvety separated lash. I think that if you build it up, it really builds to give you a nice full lash, so I definitely like this one. Sometimes Too Faced will come out with like glitters, and this came with the Vegas Nay, I believe, and it also came out in that Nikki Tutorials collaboration, but when they do, their glitters kind of look like nervous. They're just like open like that, and I actually do like when there's no sifter because it's easy to get into the glitter. But I think their glitters are good. They're just kind of subtle, and I think if I'm gonna wear glitter, usually it's just gonna be like a wow. So they're decent. They're not like crazy, you know, anything crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that I had that and what I thought about it. But let's get into lips, because I have a lot of Too Faced lip products, and I really like their lip products. So let's talk about those. First, I'm going to talk about something that makes me so sad, because they discontinued these lip liners, and this was the best lip liner I had ever used in my entire life. I have spent all of my days since they've discontinued these looking for something to kind of like the same color and consistency as this perfect nude shade from Too Faced. It is just like a really nice like cool tone. It's a perfect cool tone nude. It just makes your lips look like so naturally bigger, and it's just the perfect thing to overline with. Right now I'm wearing it. It makes my lips look like I have lip injections, but I don't. And I know people don't want to hear that, but okay, whatever. I don't, okay? So yeah, anyway, this was the best lip liner. It was just like a perfect cool tone nude. I loved it. And they got rid of them, and they were so creamy, and they stayed forever. Like, they didn't come off. So anyway, and they were retractable, so. But they're gone, so Too Faced, if you see this video, please bring those back. Please bring those back, please. I have 2 of their liquid lipsticks, and well, I had 3, and I had Queen Bee, which is like a really nice, I cannot find it for the life of me. I looked literally for like, I looked for 30 minutes and I can't find it, but it looked like a really pretty, it was almost a dupe for, what's it called? Queen Bee by Dose of Colors. It was a beautiful color. I loved it. I have Child Star, and I have Lady Balls, which is not my favorite name. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love that name, but these are beautiful colors. I'm wearing Child Star right now with another lipstick I'll show you in a second over it. But these are super thin. They last a really long time. You can layer them, and they don't get all crumbly and crackly and gross. They're so thin, and they feel really comfortable, and they don't dry your lips out. I don't know why people don't really wear these a lot anymore, but I still really like them. Let me do some swatches really quick. So here are the swatches. I think that Child Star is just like the most beautiful cool toned pink. And then Lady Balls, oh, don't like that name, is just like a really, really beautiful red. It's like an eye-catching. It makes your teeth look really white because it is a little bit cooler. It's a little bit cooler toned, which I love, like cool toned lips. I just love them. So yeah, these are just super thin. They last. You can trust them to last, and I definitely recommend them. So let's talk about their Melted Liquefied Longwear Lipsticks. So these are actually these were like one of the first liquid lipsticks. I feel like almost like these were the first liquid lipsticks to ever come out in like this liquid form. And these are really cool, but nobody really talks about it anymore. Yeah, so the last ones I talked about are mattes. They dry down matte and they don't transfer. And then these are just kind of like a liquefied, like creamy lipstick. They don't dry down, they do transfer, but I have Nude, and then I have Melted Peony, and then I also have Melted Chihuahua. And I want to talk about Melted Chihuahua because this used to be like, this is back like when the Kylie Jenner lips were kind of like a really cool thing. And this was just like, I remember everybody wearing this, and I could almost spot this on somebody else if they were wearing it. This is like a beautiful color. I used to wear this all the time, and people would always ask me what I'm wearing. So there are the swatches. This nude shade is a lot warmer than you would kind of expect. It comes out kind of looking almost like a brownish nude, which I don't love about the packaging. It's a little bit deceiving. But then there's Melted Peony, and then there is Chihuahua. They do get a little bit weird in the packaging. I'm just like, they kind of get watery, and then yeah. So, but the Chihuahua one, I would think if I would recommend anyone to you, it would be the Chihuahua one, which is right there. Finally, we have these Too Faced cream lipsticks, and I really like one of these, and it's the one I'm wearing over top that Child Star liquid lipstick, and it is in Nude Beach. If I recommend one lipstick, this is in my top 5 lipsticks that I own. It's just the most beautiful nude shade. You guys know I'm obsessed with nude shades, like that pinky kind of like cool tone nude. If you're kind of like fair, or you look, you know, if you have the same skin tone as me, this is going to be the most beautiful nude shade on you. I'm telling you, it doesn't last that long. I would kind of equate these to the Ysl lipsticks, which are, they really perfect your lips and they make them look really just like perfect, and it fills in lines, and they're really creamy that way. But they do kind of fade away a little bit more quickly than most. But they do give you like that really nice plumped look, that juicy look, that just like beautiful, perfect lip that you want. It's kind of like an ideal look. I like to throw this on before I go, you know, out to the, if I go to the gym or something, or if I'm just running out to the store, or, you know, I mean, I wear this, of course, everywhere. But if you're like somebody who's on the go, or if you just want to do something really natural and pretty, I wear this a lot, and my boyfriend actually loves this color, and he always, every time I wear it, he's like, I really like that lip color that you're wearing. And guys don't usually say that. So anyway, this is what it looks like. That is a swatch of that, if you can see it, but it's called the Nude Beach. That's the one that I recommend. I also have Naked Dolly. So if you're super fair, that is Naked Dolly. And that's like a really nice nude, but it's a little bit warmer than the Nude Beach is. I also have Naughty Nude, which is a little bit darker than those, and it's a little bit darker than the Naked Dolly, you can see. And I think that would be a nice nude if you have like, if you're darker in skin tone. For sure. It's a little bit too dark for me and a little bit too warm for me, but that would really look good on somebody else that's not me, of course. I have Taffy right there, which you can see is kind of like a corally nude shade. It's really pretty, but I don't really reach for it that often. And then I have Wham, which I got in kind of like a, I think I got this around Christmas or something, but it's got like some glitters in it. I mean, that's a really different color. You do not see that a lot. I've never seen a color like this, actually. And it's kind of like, almost like a duochrome lipstick, but yeah, that is really pretty. It's really eye-catching, so I wish you could see that a little better. sorry that if this is a really long video. I know that that was a lot of information, but it's just, I really love this brand. There's a lot of good stuff. They have a ton of stuff in their brand. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I love Too Faced as a brand. I love that they're cruelty free. They're actually at a pretty decent price point, but yeah, I hope that you guys learned something new about Too Faced, and I hope that you maybe check out some of their products that you hadn't heard about, or maybe rediscover some old favorites that you have in your collection. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. If you want me to do more total brand reviews, I would be happy to do that. Just let me know which one you want me to do next. I only do cruelty-free brands because I am cruelty-free, so definitely give this a like and make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!